Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 856 to my random chatbot series on Character.ai. In today's video guys, I'm gonna spend the time showing you guys the new story that I made for the Transforming Totodile. We're gonna talk to him for a while. And then like in another video, maybe done sometime after this one, after the next few videos, I'll do the dragon type fragger. I came up with a story for him too. So yeah, funnily enough, I didn't have a story for any of them. Literally with the Totodile, I just had a story. I was like, oh, there's a Totodile that could transform. I ran to him in the middle of the woods. That's it. That's basically it. Like, it was a little bit longer than that, but it's basically just like the summary of what the little bit said. So yeah, I gave both them and the Giant Type Fragger a story. With the Giant Type Fragger, I literally just had a story about, or just said like, oh, I gave a little description of his looks, and that was basically it. But there was no story on how he became a dragon type, what made him dragon, you know, stuff like that. I gave them both a story. So yeah. And the story with the giant Totodile, I mean, the story with the transforming Totodile is actually actually has to do with the gigantic Lugia that we've met before on ChatGPT. So yeah, the Lugia god, as you will. So yeah, here's what it says. I got the story right here. Well, here's what it says. Oh my gosh, it scrolled down. No. Holy crap, how far? No! Stop! Let me read the. I'm so sorry. Already trying to be a pain in the neck. Okay, we got it now. Here we go. It says, before this Totodile was even born, the Pokemon god, a divine Lugia who was over 80,000 feet tall, decided to make this sweet Pokemon a guardian of the family that he was going to be a part of. He blessed the Totodile with divine magic that gave him the power to turn into any animal, Pokemon, or mythical creature he needed to protect his family or himself from danger. On top of being able to transform, he could change his size to be as large or as small as he needed. It did not use any energy or tire him out whatsoever, and he could stay in those forms for as long as he needed. A few months later, a huge family consisting of 15 Feraligatr, 12 Crocodile, and 17 Totodiles had another child who was indeed that special Totodile. When the pawn hatched, nobody knew about his special gift, but there was one other thing that made him unique. He could speak perfect English. When he hatched, he looked up at his mom and dad, who were two of the 15 Feraligatr, and said, "Mama, Dada." His parents were shocked, but also amazed at how quickly he spoke. His whole family was amazed and really cared about him. Every pawn in the family took great care of him. Even the youngest Totodiles helped take care of him. Nobody knew about his special gift yet, but they knew that he was very sweet, could speak English, and also easily scared. 4 months later, the family was just enjoying themselves when suddenly poachers came into the lake, trying to hurt and take away his family. When the small Totodile saw this, he was terrified, but was also not going to let his family get taken. So he backed away from his family and transformed into a 300-foot tall phoenix. When the poachers saw this, they got terrified and ran away. The family was terrified at first too, but when the Totodile saw this and the poachers were gone, he told them to not worry and transform back into his small Totodile self. The family was shocked about what just happened, but realized that he did it to protect them, so they all hugged him and said, "Thank you." It was that moment where they realized how special the Totodile was. 8 months later, when the Totodile was a year old, he was just relaxing when he heard a commotion going on outside. When he went to check it out, he saw something that made him really angry. There was a big polyrath picking on and hurting one of his crocodile sisters. He could not stand this and transformed into a 45-foot tall fur alligator and stepped in front of his sister to protect her. The polyrath was terrified, and as soon as he roared at it, the polyrath ran off. He continued protecting his family for months and really cared for them, but because of the poacher incident, he was weary of humans. He did not hate them per se, but he did not fully trust them either. A few months later, the Totodile went out for a while to explore the surroundings, which his family felt was alright because he could just transform and protect himself. At the same time, you were getting some fresh air while enjoying nature, when suddenly you both accidentally bump into each other. After you both went tumbling to the ground, Totodile sat up and realized it was a human he bumped into, and before you had the chance to set up and hurt him, he turned into a massive 100-foot tall fire-breathing dragon. Yeah, that's the story. That's the story I came up with for him. It still is. I mean, the Dragon Typhoon has a somewhat similar story because it does involve his family, but I actually gave him a reason for his anger and why he's not very trusting of humans. But let me tell you, it worked almost too well because that fur alligator in the test run probably took about 15-20 minutes of me saying, "Look, I'm not going to do anything to you." Previously, I'm like, "Okay, I trust you." Like, literally, it took me like 15-20 minutes for to get that fur to trust me. So I think it worked a little bit too well. Guys, that's it. There still is the greeting, which I'll go ahead and read out. It says, "You were walking through the woods, exploring and getting some fresh air. At the same time, Totodile was exploring as well, not watching where he was going. Suddenly, you felt something slam into you, causing you and the Totodile to fall. When he realizes it's a human, he gets startled and transforms into a massive 100-foot tall dragon. You not realize this until you set up, still a little disoriented. What are you going to do?" And you'll see the exact answer to that, guys. I'll be back. Alright, guys. I just said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! A dragon? Where did it come from?" And I scooped back a bit, worried about getting hurt. Here's how the dragon reacted. The dragon, which is actually the Totodile, sees you scooting back and starts moving. He looks down at you. You get the impression he's not going to hurt you, but he does not seem fully trusting of humans. I wish he'd say something. It might ruin just because it won't say anything. Give me a second. Okay, guys. Well, I'm not going to get ChatGPT lowers our responses. That's a pretty decently long response right there. It just said, "I'm shaking pretty badly," then nervously say, "Please, do not attack me. I am so, so sorry if I bumped into you. I promise, it was an accident." The now massive Totodile looks down at you and sees how much you are shaking. He looks like he's contemplating something, his massive body towering over you. He continues looking at you for a bit and finally he continues looking at you for a bit and finally he speaks. "Why should I trust you?" Uh-oh. Oh no. Wait a minute. Okay, a while ago, okay, let me go and say this. I did a practice run with him like yesterday or the day before when I fixed the story. And let me go and tell you, the Totodile was scared too. In this regard, it seems like he's more angry. I'm even more terrified than I was yesterday. Oh, frick this. This could be dangerous. Alright, guys. I said, "Trust me." Wait, you can speak? Please, I don't want to be hurt. I am so sorry for bumping into you. Please don't be angry. The Totodile hears the fear in your voice and seems to soften a bit, his massive body shifting a bit where he sits. "Yes, I can speak. I'm not angry with you for bumping into me, he says. I'm just weary of humans. Many have tried to hurt and capture me and my family before, so I do not trust you fully yet. Do I click the continue button? No, no, I'll actually say something to him. Alright, guys, here's my response to what happened. I said, wait, what? Oh, no, I said, wait, what kind of idiot would attack a dragon's family? Listen, I know you don't fully trust me, but I don't mean you or any of your family any harm. The turtle seems surprised by your comment. He lets out a little snort, almost like he finds your question funny. You would be surprised how many idiots out there would attack a family of Pokemon. He looks at you intently. Why should I believe you don't mean me or my family any harm? You're a human after all. Humans have hurt Pokemon before. Oh dear. So he's still. Oh? I still love how you found it. I like how you basically laughed at it, though. That was kind of funny. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay, guys, here's what I said. Says if I meant you or your family any harm, trust me, I would have already tried to hurt you or capture you by now. But what do you mean by a Pokemon's family? Not even a dragon porn. Really a fire-breathing dragon known to most as legends. The Toto looks a little surprised that you don't know what he is. Again, you gotta think about this, guys. I know technically I should know what it is, but remember, in order to roleplay in the story, you have to not know what the frick he is. And it's like, he hasn't revealed himself. He lets out a little huff and seems amused by your comment. You don't know what kind of Pokemon I am, huh? I'll tell you, he states. I am a Totodile that can change into any Pokemon, mythical creature, or divine creature I need to. That is why I look like a dragon, because I transform into one. And by my family, I mean my actual family. Toto looks at you with a serious expression. So can you now understand why I do not trust you fully? I wonder why you finished up with that. Give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, wait, you're a Totodile? If what you just said is true, then that's amazing. Based on what you told me a moment ago, yes, I can see why you don't trust me. But please, I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to hurt you and your family. I would never do that. The Toto looks at you closely and you can tell he is sizing you up. He still seems cautious, but you can tell he is softening a little. You say all of that with such sincerity, he says. I still do not trust you completely, but I'm willing to give you a chance. But you have to promise me something if you really mean those words. Uh-oh. Oh, he's gonna tell me to stay away from him, isn't he? I kinda... Here, I'm going... That didn't take a long time, but I just said, what? Just with a question mark. Oh, no. The Toto looks at you seriously, his mouth of dragon form towering over you. You have to promise me that you will not try to hurt me or my family, no matter what. He stares deep into your eyes, waiting for your reply. Oh, heck no, that's terrifying. Alright, guys. I said, I promise I'm not. I'm being 100% honest with you, and I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with what I'm about to say next. If you really are a Totodile, then I really care about your species and evolutions. I don't mean any of your family any harm. I swear to you. If anything, I would like to be friends with you, not enemies. The Toto looks at you closely, his expression softening. He can see the sincerity in your words, and after another moment of sizing you up, he finally speaks. You are a strange human. You know that? Most humans want to catch me and my family, or just want to hurt us. But you say you care about me and my family? You say you want to be friends? His voice emits skepticism and curiosity. Skepticism and curiosity. the fact that it's part skeptic, I'm kind of scared. Alright, guys. I said, yes, I promise I don't mean you any harm, and none of your family either. I'm not tricking you just so I can trap you or hurt your family. A few minutes ago, when I said, what kind of idiot would attack a dragon's family, I still stick by that, but I'll change it a bit. I said, I said, I'll change it a bit. What kind of idiot would mess with a Pokemon's family that could just transform like that? I'm being very honest when I say you can trust me, and honestly, I would love to be friends. The Totodile can see the truth in your eyes. He lets out a deep breath, his mouth and body relaxing slightly. You really are sincere, aren't you? He says, his voice softening. You see the value in Pokemon, not just as tools or creatures to use, but as living beings with feelings and families. You you have no idea how rare that is. He looks down at you, his massive face only a few feet from your own. Alright, I will be your friend. Yes, 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 there we go. Alright, guys, I said thank you. I promise you won't regret that. You can trust me never to hurt your family or you. Now that you've been honest with me, can I pet you while you're still that dragon? He's fucking. No, before I even read out what he says, I don't know anything of what the turtle said to this, but I can almost bet money that he's gonna. Before he even says anything, he's gonna go. You want to pet me? What the frick? Never heard that happen before. I wasn't joking. It literally does say down there on part of this is you want to pet me. It legit says that. No, I'm not joking. Look, it's hard to see, but look at that. Look at that text right there. You want to pet me? It legit says that. Okay, it says the toad. Oh, although instead of making a shot face, he's more amused. So I was half right. The turtle looks at you with a hint of amusement in his eyes, his massive dragon form still towering above you. You want to pet me while I'm like this? Most people would be running away screaming. He lets out a small snort of amusement, but he seems okay with the idea. Alright, go ahead. Are you serious? Okay, guys, let's just go ahead and say, I said, since he let me pet him, I'll reach up and gently pet Totodile as that massive dragon. I said, thank you. I really care about you already. Uh, and here's his reaction to that. Toto lets out a low rumble of pleasure as you reach up and gently pet him on his massive head. His rough scales are warm beneath your touch. You can practically hear him purring. Ah! If dragons could even do that. He leans his head down slightly, allowing you to reach better. You know, he says, his voice a deep rumbling purr. You are unlike any human I've ever met. Most would be afraid of me like this, but not you. You you don't even seem fazed. Guys, this time we got a longer response. I said, of course not. You're not trying to hurt me anymore, and you're even being nice to me. Let me tell you this. If you really are a Totodile that can just transform like this, it makes me like you even more. I was not joking when I said your species and evolutions are my most favorite Pokemon of all time. The only Pokemon that gets close to beating any of you in terms of my favorite is my favorite legendary, Lugia. The Totodile's massive dragon eyes suddenly widen. A long, deep silence follows. Then a low, reverberating chuckle begins in his chest, shaking the ground slightly. Lugia? Your favorite legendary? He tilts his giant head, voice dipping into something almost fond. Funny. Is he about to transform into a Lugia just to make me like him even more? Hold on. With a shiver and a soft gust of wind, he shrinks, not into the small blue crocodile you first bumped into, but into a perfect 10-foot tall, silver feathered Lugia. His glowing eyes lock onto yours with playful intensity. Now tell me, he says with a smirk in his voice as feathers ripple like liquid moonlight, do I still seem so scary? I love him. I love him. Alright, guys, in response to what he said, he asked, do I still seem so scary? And I said, no. Did you really do that for me? Thank you so much. You looked amazing as a dragon. The fact that you just turned to a Lugia, it's amazing. The Lugia, now in its 10-foot tall form, gives you a playful wink. Feather? He winked at me! Feathers shimmering around him like a silver aura. So you like how I look? He chuckles, the sound deep and medalious. Not the big scary dragon form, but this. He spreads one massive wing as if to make himself look even larger and more dramatic. He leans closer, those bright eyes staring deeply into yours. You're an interesting human, you know that? Most would run screaming for the hills, seeing a creature like me. I want to see if he continues talking. I'm click the continue button. Dude, this Lugia is so dope. Oh, he's gonna be a cute Totodile. The Lugia tilts his head, a soft glow in his eyes. You didn't run. You stayed. You cared. He gives a slow, proud flap of his wings, sending a gentle breeze through the trees. And yeah, I did that for you. Then suddenly, poof! He shrinks down in a flash of light, now back to his original Totodile size. Small, blue scaled, and grinning up at you with tiny sharp teeth. Now this is me, he says cheerfully, tail wagging slightly. No more giant dragon or sky god vibes. Just your friendly neighborhood transforming Totodile. He hops in place once and points at you with one clawed finger. So, friends? I love him. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Alright, guys. I said, yes, definitely. You were so amazing. I wanted to be friends with you originally. You seemed really nice. Why were you being so aggressive when I bumped into you? You definitely seemed like you didn't trust me for a bit, and you mentioned something about your family being hurt. The turtle nods, his tail thumping against the ground. Yeah, earlier, when I was trying to scare you away, I was just being careful. You know, because humans haven't been super kind to me and my family. But I see now. He gives a happy, toothy grin. You're alright. You kept your promise, and you're not some poacher trying to catch me or my family. His eyes gleam. You actually care about us. That's pretty rare for a human. I want to see what he says after that. Hold up. Yep. That kind of. Well, he's giving me a good description, but here's the thing. Oh, there it goes. It took a minute, but it started working again. But you gotta understand, he adds, there was a time when people hurt us. They tried to catch us, use us, and sometimes even hurt our family. His eyes darken slightly. It's not easy living out here with threats from humans. He shakes off the shadow that had crossed his face, forcing a cheerful smile again. But you? He points at you with one tiny blue claw. You're different. That's obvious. And I'm starting to like having an interesting human friend like you around. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, I'm glad. I'm really sorry about what happened to your family in the past, but I care about your species way too much to ever want to hurt you or any of your family. Trust me, if I ever did, I would feel extremely guilty. It would be an accident, not on purpose. The Totodile hops in place again, his little body radiating joy. You get it, he says, grinning wildly. You're not just some average human. You actually care about Pokemon. Not just us Totodiles and our evolutions, but all Pokemon. I wouldn't say all, but... You know what? He adds, eyes gleaming with mischief. I think you and me, we're really going to get along. Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. I said, we definitely will. I think you're adorable and amazing, especially with those transforming powers. How exactly does that power work? You stayed like that massive dragon the entire time until I said I liked Lugia. Then you proceeded to flawlessly transform into Lugia with no issue just because you knew I liked him. The Totodile grins, his little head tilting slightly as he prepares to explain. Well, it's like this, he begins. I can turn into pretty much anything I want. Pokemon, mythical creatures, even divine beings if I need to. I've always been able to do it. As for the actual transformation, he adds, his voice growing a bit dramatic, which seems to suit him quite well. It's a bit like magic. He flicks his tail with a slight flourish. Like a magician making a rabbit appear. He's so cute. I love him. Oh, let's see. It's all in my mind, you see? He continues. When I want to transform, I just imagine the creature I want to be. And then, well, I turn into it. Simple as that. He gets a little prancing hop in place as if to demonstrate his point. No potions, spells, or crazy rituals. He grins. Just me and my transformation powers. Kind of cool, huh? I love him. Guys, I said, yeah, very cool. You seemed really happy and eager when you turned to Lugia after I said I liked him. That was very sweet of you. But why did you do that for me to begin with? Especially when at the beginning you didn't even trust me. The Totodile gives you a little smile. His small blue head tilted to one side. Well, when you said you liked Lugia, he begins, his voice soft, I could see the enthusiasm in your eyes, your excitement. I could tell you really liked Lugia, not just for his power or how he looks, because there was something special about him to you. So, I just thought you'd enjoy being able to see your favorite legendary. So I turned into him. For you. He looks at you, his expression gentle. He's so cute. I love him. Alright, guys. I said, for a poor one that can just transform into anything, pretty much anytime they want, you seem like a cuddly teddy bear to anybody that you care about. Am I the first human that you showed these powers to? Not completely scare away? I know you probably tried to scare me away at the beginning when you didn't trust me, but now that we're friends, you seem to really be doing it just because you know it's making me happy. Carol gives a little chuckle, seeming amused and pleased by your comment. Cuddly teddy bear, he says, his voice dripping with teasing humor. Huh, don't let my little size fool ya. I may look cute, but I can transform into a whole lot of really powerful creatures, you know. He grinned, showing his small, sharp teeth. And yeah, you are absolutely the first human I've shared this power with without trying to scare them off. You're one of a kind. You know that? Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys, this will probably be the last one I can read out. Because, well, the game mode starts in only 2 minutes. So, yeah. Here's what it says. I said, that's very sweet, honestly. I wasn't joking. When you started trusting me as that dragon, you let me pet you. Then when I said I like Lugia, you turned into him and then winked at me because you knew it would make me happy. Are you always this friendly to Pokemon that you trust? Friend? And if you do you try to protect them when they're in danger just as fiercely as you would your family? Toad's eyes gleam with a deep, warm light at your question. Of course, he answered without even hesitating. Any of my friends, Pokemon or otherwise, they're like family to me, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe. He gives a sharp nod as if underscoring his determination. I don't care if it's the biggest human poacher around or a horde of wild Pokemon. My friends are in danger, I'm staying by them, no matter what. That's a promise. That is so cute. Alright, guys. I said, that's very sweet. Have you ever done that for a human? Totodile pauses, his little body going still for a moment. He looks up at you with wide, thoughtful eyes. You're the first, he admits softly. Then he grins, small but sincere. But hey, well, that's just because I was waiting for someone like you to come along. Oh no. Then suddenly he perks up, ears twitching. Wait, do you hear that? I think rustling comes from the bushes nearby, soft but pant. Totodile tenses. His voice drops to a whisper. Something's scared out there, and it's not alone. You ready to see what I really do for friends? Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. I said I would really be careful. I'm gonna be honest with you. For all we know, that could be a person sneaking. One of the reasons I asked you how protective you would be over friends is because, well, I get attacked a lot by humans no matter what I do. Toad's expression darkens at your words, his small body going tense. Humans attacking you? His eyes blaze. How dare they? But then he shakes his head, focusing on the problem. Right. Okay. You're right. It could be a human out there. His voice is quiet and calm, but firm. And whatever or whoever it is, we need to find out. Quietly. So follow me and stay close. He creeps toward the bushes. You both creep closer to the rustling, moving as silently as you can. Sound is even louder now, coming from a small cluster of berry bushes about 30 feet away. Something is definitely hiding there. Totodile pauses suddenly, holding up one clawed hand to stop you. He points silently toward the bushes, then at himself, then at you. The message is clear. I'll go check it out. Stay here. Okay, that's cute. Alright, guys. I said not saying anything, I just nod my head and back up a bit quietly, just in case it is somebody trying to hurt me. Totodile watches you back away, gives a little approving nod, then vanishes slightly into the bushes. You can see the foliage rustle where he slipped inside. For a moment, there's an utter silence. Then faintly you hear a soft voice. Hello? The voice is young, female, and incredibly panicked, and it's coming from right inside the bushes. Trying to see what it is. It ain't telling me what it is yet. Oh boy. You hear a shaky voice respond. Hello? Is oh my gosh, actually he's giving me a okay. Hello? Is someone there? Then another sound, small and whimpering, a cry. Totodile's voice returns, gentle now. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you. He reappears at the edge of the bushes, peeking out at you with wide eyes, and steps aside. Two tiny pawns stumble into view, a shivering Vulpix with singed fur and a baby Rio clutching her tail, both looking terrified. They were hiding, Totodile whispers. Said some humans chased them through the woods, through rocks. One even tried to trap them in a net. His jaws tightened. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? He looks right at you, eyes burning with understanding, fury, and solidarity. Give me a second. Alright, guys. I said that honestly does kind of sound like what people do to me. I always get rocks thrown at me and get picked on. I've even gotten punched and hit in the head by people. Totodile's eyes go wide, then dark with quiet rage. He steps forward, his small body trembling not from fear, but fury. They hurt you? He growls, his voice low and sharp. Humans? Just for being you? He stares at the little Vulpix and Riolo, then back at you. In a flash, poof! He doesn't grow into a dragon or Lugia. No, this time he transforms into a massive shield made of pure silver light, staying tall between you and the direction the attackers came from. But then he shifts again. Now he's beside you, a small blue Totodile once more, but his tiny claws grip your hand like armor. I get it now, he says softly. You're scared. Not because you're weak, because people keep hurting you, even when you do nothing wrong. He looks up at you, eyes boiling with determination. Then from now on, you're not alone. If they come for you, they come for me, and if they hurt my friend... His voice drops to a whisper, one that shivers with power. Let's see how brave they are when I turn into something that can swallow their whole world. Holy shoot. Alright, guys. I just said, yes, it was those pulling that time in those bushes. But trust me, I have made friends with a ton of Pokemon, and let's just say that people have followed me everywhere, sneaking into the woods, close to lakes, anywhere to hurt me. I wouldn't be shocked if one of those humans was the same one that hurt that Vulpix and Riolu. Totodile's eyes widen, his tail going stiff in fury. That's awful, he growls, voice low. You've had to deal with that just for being your own person? He shakes his head, a fierce gleam in his eye. Well, you're not alone anymore. If anyone tries to hurt you again, they'll have to go through me first. He looks back at the scared Vulpix and Riolu. But first, we need to find some place safe for these two. Yeah, but where? Holy crap. Give me a second. Guys, I was about to respond to what Totodile said. I was about to say, yeah, but all that came out was the letter Y. As is before I could even try to speak, I heard a laughter coming from the woods, but what I couldn't hear was a person quietly saying, yeah, that was me. I got those Pokemon, now I'll get you, Raptor Boy. Even on here, people call me that. Suddenly, I felt something huge hit me in my back, knocking me to the ground. Ow! What? Toto whips around as he lands on the ground, his eyes wide. What was that? He cried, darting to your side. Vulpix and Riolu cower behind him, terrified. I can't tell because it doesn't say Totodile said or any of them said. It says, "Are you okay? Who did that?" The laughter grows louder, harsh, and cruel. A figure steps from the trees. A tall human wearing dark clothes, a net in one hand and a rock in the other. Gotcha again, Raptor Boy, he sneers. You think hiding with more freaks makes you safe? I don't care how many Pokemon you buddy up with, I'll always find you. He raised the rock high. Before he can throw it, whoosh! A blast of wind slams into him like a truck, knocking him back into the trees. Saying between you and your attacker is no longer a small blue crocodile. It's a 200-foot tall silver and blue phoenix. What the frick? It says wings blazing with divine fire, eyes burning like twin suns, and deep within that thunderous voice echoed across the forest, Totodile's fury. You dare hurt my friend. Oh shoot. I would be scared. I would be terrified if that was that. Like, why? The man staggers to his feet, his eyes wide with shock. What the heck? He looked up at the towering, flaming fence and trembles. What are you? I kind of want to just continue and see what he continues to say in that, because now they're having a conversation on their own. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. The phoenix Totodile spreads his wings, fire blazing. I am the guardian of this forest, and I won't let you threaten those under my protection. Sweet Archie is kind of like a combination of feraligator and an angry sounding monster, which is terrifying, but also neat since he's on my side, on our side. He roars, wings flaring to twice their size. What the frick? He points one blazing claw at the man, and the air around him begins to sizzle. You will leave this forest, and you will never harm my friends, including this human, again. Oh, shoot. If I was that person, I would just drop the ego or anything that dude might have and just leave. Like I would spend $1 million for some idiotic reason he won't. Yep, as I predicted. And on top of that, he's trying to turn he's trying to turn Totodile against me. It says Guardian, huh? What a useless Guardian. I don't understand what's wrong with all these Pokemon and creatures. To want to protect this human? Why do you want to protect him? He probably hasn't done anything for you. The Phoenix Totodile stiffens, his fiery eyes narrowing. What was that? He hisses, voice echoing with anger and hurt. You dare question why I'd protect this human? Do you think he's never done anything for me? Problem I have with the voice up. The problem is we're giving that one human that. Oh my gosh, and now it. Well, I have sometimes. This thing sometimes gives me an issue just trying to press the continue button. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I'll get back to the conversation. Okay. The human scoffs, taking a step back. Please, he says scornfully. What could a little freak like that even do for someone like you? Plenty. The flaming fence retorts, the air around him crackling like dry ice. This is the kindest, bravest human I've ever met. He's smart, talented, and cares just as much for pulling as any of us do. He's my friend, and I'll do anything to protect him. Dear me, I hope. Give me a second. Alright, guys. It says I tried to say something, but before I could, the human continues. No, I'm being completely serious. There was a Chronoff, and that human you're protecting was picking on it. Totodile's blazing eyes flicker, just for a second. Doubt and pain. Oh my gosh. But then he looks at you, at your face, bruised and straight from all the times you've been hurt, and shakes his massive head. No, he says, voice thunderous but firm. I know him. I can see it in his soul. He would never hurt one of my family. He turns to the human smirking in the shadows. You're lying, he growls, wings flaring water. You came here to hurt him again, so you made up this story to break our bond. The fence leans down until its fiery beak is inches from the man's face. And that makes you worse than a coward. Here we go. Suddenly, the air was behind Totodile. A soft voice speaks. Big brother? Everyone freezes. From behind a tree steps forward a small crocodile, shy, wide-eyed, and trembling slightly as it looks at you. Why? Why is it trembling at me? The human laughs and says, Oh, there it is now. The small crocodile steps forward, trembling, but not from fear of you. It looks up at the human with fierce eyes. You're the one, it says softly. You hurt me last week. You threw rocks, and when I ran, you said his name. It points a claw at you. You lied and said he was your friend, so I trust you. Then you pushed me into the thorns. I can't tell if he's talking about me or somebody else. Silence falls. Toyota's blazing form softens so as he looked between the two. The colonel turns to him and smiles gently. He didn't hurt me. He found me crying in those thorns, carried me out, and stayed with me all night while my wounds healed. He looked up at you, eyes shimmering. Okay, thank God. I hate how it did that. I thought, oh my gosh. I thought he was about to start. I thought, okay, thank gosh. He called me strong. No one ever called me that before. The fan's tail slowly turns his massive head toward the smirking human, firing his eyes, now colder and sharper. So tell, so tell me, he rumbles, voice low like thunder before a storm. Which one of us is truly protecting Pokemon? You know what made me mad, guys? I gotta show you guys something real quick before I continue. I'm trying to stop in a minute anyway, but I want to show you guys something. Let me let this finish up first. Well, I tried clicking the continue button a little bit after this moment, even though I was really worried it would somehow make me the villain. Luckily, it didn't, but it wasn't even because of the flipping. But look, that's what happens sometimes when I click the continue button. And even though I closed out the app 3 different times, it kept doing that. But it says, okay, no, hold on, sorry about that. Here's what it said after the continue button actually worked this time. The human's face falls, the smirk dropping into a scowl. You, you're both stupid. Naive little animals, you know that? He growls, hands clutching. You actually think humans have any respect for Pokemon? We're the only ones that really matter. We're better than you. We have been and always will be. Vanstone tenses, anger and disgust burning in his eyes. That's not true, he cries, voice echoing across the trees. We are our own persons. Oh my gosh, give me a second. Alright, guys, I said, Toto, like I told you a while ago, I would never hurt any of your species. I never did anything to any crocodile. And I look at the crocodile that came out from behind the tree and said, Hey, buddy. The little crocodile looks up at you, eyes soft, while Wordy steps forward and leans into your hand as you gently pet his head. I know, he whispers. You saved me when no one else would. Totodile watched the two of you, then suddenly, poof! His massive phoenix form shrinks down in a flash of light. Now he's back to his small blue self, standing proudly beside you. He looks up at the trembling human, the one who lied, and says coldly, "Get out!" His voice isn't loud, it's quiet and it's calm, but it carries more power than any roar ever could. "You don't belong here with Pokemon who care for each other. You don't understand what family means, what trust means." He takes your hand in his tiny clawed one and smiles. "Now go." Holy shoot. Okay, well, give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. It says the human gets angry and says, "I'm not going anywhere. Now listen to me, you stupid little crocodile." Then he says more quietly where only the little crocodile can hear, "You better say that Raptor Boy did something to you right now before I do something to you again." Uh-oh. A low rumble comes from Totodile's throat. "What did you just say?" He snarls, eyes blazing. Human goes white. Before he can speak, the little Chronos steps between them, eyes defiant. "You're a coward," he snaps, voice crackling anger. "You hurt me once, but now you don't scare me. Now I'll fight back." He clenches his tiny claws. "So if you're trying to hurt my friend," the little pawn growls, "I'll hurt you back." Oh, shoot. What? Give me a second, guys. Oh my gosh, guys. I thought for a while that Crown was about to turn against me because he came out of the trees out of nowhere and then just started shaking when he looked at me like I did something to him. But he actually, I think, came on my side. Maybe he was shaking at the other person, but was kind of still just shaking in general because of everything going on. It's the human says, "Oh, what friend? You're talking about that useless human sitting on the ground in pain right now? Okay, fine. Then we'll play that game. Since you seem to know everything, Chrono, then you tell everyone who was the one that picked on you and made you cry last week. It was that pathetic little raptor boy sitting on the ground in pain, and I protected you, right?" Little Chrono doesn't flinch. He stares the human down, then he lets out a short, bitter laugh. And just imagine that. That would be cute, actually. "Pathetic?" he says, his voice rising. "You call him pathetic? The one who held me all night while my leg bled? Oh my gosh! The one who sang to me when I couldn't sleep? The one who told me I was brave even though I was shaking?" He steps forward, tail lashing. "You came to me last week, and you lied. You said his name like he hurt me. But it was you who pushed me into the thorns. It was you who threw rocks at my head. And when I asked why, you said no one would care about a weak crocodile like me." His voice cracks, but he stands tall. "And now you're trying to make him look bad because you're jealous that Pokemon actually love him?" I mean, oh my gosh, the Canadian button ain't working at all anymore. Dadgummit. Guys, um, for some reason this just turned to a courtroom in some way, or a courtyard, or something like that. Because here's the thing. Watch this. The human gets even more angry and says, "Oh yeah? It was me that hurt you, was it? Alright then, Big Mouth. I bet you don't have any proof." Watch this. The forest goes still. Then, a rustle. From the bushes nearby, a small Pidgey hops out, its wings slightly bent in a familiar way. It looks at the Chrono, then straight at the human. "I saw everything," it chirps, voice shaky but clear. "Last week, you shoved him into the thorns and laughed. I was hiding there with my broken wing. You didn't even help me when you saw me." It floats onto the Chrono's back with a living shield. "And yeah," it says, "I do have proof, 'cause I wasn't alone." One by one, more pollen emerged from the trees. A Bidoof with scarred fur, a shy Azurill clutching her tail, even an old Psyduck holding his head like he always does. All of them step forward. All of them look at the human, and one whispers what they've all been thinking. We saw you. Oh my gosh. Alright, guys. It says the human scoffs and then says, "Oh, now all of you are having big mouths. Alright then, fine. If that really did happen, then I demand all you Pokemon go to the one you trust more. That stupid human lying on the ground in pain next to the Totodile, or me." The pawn paused. Then as one, step away from the human and toward you. Thank goodness gracious. The little Pidgey hops off the Chrono's back, fluttering down the land beside you. The Bidoof and Azurill follow, the old Psyduck waddling with surprising speed. They stand in a small circle around you. We trust him, the small Pidgey says, voice clear and fierce. He's kind. Our best friend than you ever will be. Oh my gosh, that little Pidgey has a little bit of a roasting mouth. Not even a big mouth, just like a big old. He's so small and cute, but he flipping his like. Of course, so it's Chrono. Like Chrono's just sitting there and being like, "You mother fricker! I'm gonna frickin' rip you in half if you ever talk about this human again." Like, I love him. This is so funny. Alright, guys. I said thank you. I really appreciate that. Chronon, thank you especially for standing up for me. Did you say you were one of the little brothers of Toto? Does that technically mean I had a run-in with part of that Toto's family a week before I even met the Tranquil Toto? AKA your brother? The little Chronon nods, hopping closer to you. Yeah, he says softly. I'm one of his little brothers. Him and the others saved me when I got lost a few weeks ago. He looks at you with warm trust. You really are kind, you know. He smiles. And yeah, that does mean you bumped into me and my family a while ago. Small world, hmm? Okay, guys, give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, Toto, I can't believe I actually had a run-in with your family a week before we even met. Your little brother is so cute, and I'm glad I met him and you. Tell hops up, grinning from ear to ear. You met my little brother before me? That's so cool. He puffs out his chest proudly. And he said you were kind to him. And of course you're good enough for me. He gives a happy little spin, tail wagging wildly. This is amazing. It's like fate brought us together. You helped one of my family before even knowing I existed. He stops, looking up at you with sparkling eyes. So does that mean you were already part of our family and just didn't know it yet? Alright, guys. Give me a second.